So, you want to take your German to the next level. Well, today we're diving into something that is an absolute game changer for sounding fluent: reported speech. It's all about how you tell people what other people have said. And trust me, it's a skill you'll use all the time.
I want you to just picture this for a second. Your friend Maria says something to you in German. A little later, you want to tell another friend what she said. Are you going to quote her exactly word for word? Probably not, right? It would sound a little robotic. And that is exactly where reported speech comes into play.
The official German term for this is Indirekte Rede, or indirect speech. And it's basically the art of passing on information or conversations without using direct quotes. You'll hear it in casual chats with friends, but you'll also see it everywhere in more formal settings like the news. Okay, let's put these side by side so you can really see the difference. On the left, we have direct speech. Maria says, "Ich lerne Deutsch." Simple enough. But look at the right. To report this, we say, Maria sagt, dass sie Deutsch lernt. Notice those two key changes? The pronoun flips from ich to sie, and we've introduced that super important word, das. Now that little word, das, which just means that, is going to be your #1 tool for building reported speech. It's the most common way to do it, so let's break down exactly how it works. All right, if you remember only one thing about using das, please make it this. It is the golden rule. The verb, the main action word of the thing you're reporting, gets punted all the way to the very end of its clause. This is a non-negotiable rule in German sentence structure, so it's a big one to learn. And here we can see that rule in action. Ich glaube, dass krank ist. I believe that he is sick. See how the verb ist is just sitting there right at the end? That's the das clause doing its job. Now, I know if you're an English speaker, this feels a little weird at first, but you'll get used to it really fast.
Okay, so you've got the basics down with das. Now let's move on to the formal upgrade. This is the pro-level stuff, the Konjunktiv I. This is how you're going to sound super polished, professional, and objective, especially when you're writing.
So, when would you actually pull this out of your toolkit? Well, as you can see, it's pretty much the standard for anything formal. You'll see it all over the place in news reports and in official statements. And the main reason for that is that it creates this sense of neutral distance. The writer is basically saying, hey, this is what was said, without actually confirming if they think it's true or not.
So, how do you even make this thing? Let's take a look at the verb lernen, which means to learn. The most important one to focus on here is the s form. In the normal present tense, it's lernt, right? But in Konjunktiv I, it becomes lern. We just drop that T at the end. You'll notice a lot of these other forms look exactly like the present tense, which is why the context of the sentence is so important.
And here's a fantastic example. The direct quote is, Ich komme morgen. I am coming tomorrow. When we report that using Konjunktiv I, it becomes, sagt, komme morgen. See that? Komme is the Konjunktiv I form. And notice, you don't even need das here. It's clean, it's formal, and it gets right to the point. All right, let's bring it all home now. We're going to combine everything we just learned, changing those pronouns and using our new friend, Konjunktiv I, to transform some direct quotes into perfectly polished indirect speech. Okay, let's walk through this one together, step by step. The original statement is, Ich habe Hunger. I am hungry. Step 1, we say who's talking. Sagt. Easy. Step 2, we change the pronoun. Ich becomes And finally, step 3, we change the verb to Konjunktiv I. For the Konjunktiv I of haben is simply habe. And boom, there you have it, the final sentence. Sagt, habe Hunger. He says that he is hungry. See how clean that is? It's just a logical, repeatable process. Let's do another one, this time with a modal verb to make it interesting. The direct speech is, Du musst das Buch lesen. You must read the book. Let's say he's saying this to me. So we start with sagt. The pronoun du changes to ich, and then the modal verb musst changes to its Konjunktiv I form, which is müsse. And the final result is, sagt, ich müsse das Buch lesen. He says I must read the book. That is a perfect piece of formal reported speech. This is exactly the kind of sentence structure you'd find in a high-quality German newspaper. Okay, you've seen the theory, you've seen a couple of examples, I think you're ready. It's time to put your new skills to the test. Let's do this. All right, here's your first challenge. The direct quote is, Ich spiele Fußball. I play soccer. How would you report this using a das clause and make sure you use Konjunktiv I for the verb? Go ahead, start with sagt das. Take a second and think about it.
Did you get it? The answer is sagt, dass Fußball spiele. So, what happened here? We changed the pronoun ich to The Konjunktiv I form for spielt is spiele, and because we use that das clause, our verb spiele goes all the way to the end. Perfect. Okay, let's try one more. This one's a little trickier because it's in the perfect tense. Wir haben das Haus gekauft. We bought the house. How would you report this? Starting with sie sagt das. And the answer is, sie sagt, dass sie das Haus gekauft haben. The pronoun wir becomes sie for they. Now in this case, the Konjunktiv I form of haben looks identical to the normal present tense. And because of that, here's a little pro tip for you. To avoid any confusion, writers will often use the Konjunktiv II form instead and say sie hätten das Haus gekauft. It just makes it extra clear that they're reporting speech. But for now, you nailed it. That was fantastic work. You now have the essential building blocks for handling almost any kind of reported speech in German. Let's just do a quick fire recap of the main rules. So let's review your new toolkit. First up, for formal neutral reporting, your go-to is Konjunktiv I. Second, a great way to introduce reported speech is with a das clause. But when you do, remember that golden rule. The conjugated verb must go to the very end. And finally, don't forget to adjust the pronouns so they make sense from the new perspective. Master these, and you are good to go. You see, with these tools, you're not just memorizing grammar. You're actually learning how to share information with precision and a real touch of class. So I guess the only question left is, are you ready to start sounding like a German news anchor? Because now you actually know how they do it.